I hope you can hear me and see me all right. Well, unfortunately, I can't see you. I would love to see you, but today we're going to be communicating through the chat. Welcome everyone to our today's webinar. And we're going to be talking about the goals, the professional goal setting for your career. Aim, shoot, score, set better goals for your career. So we will just wait a minute for everyone to warm up, to join, and let's just say hi to each other. And let me ask you, where are you joining from? I'm currently in Malaysia, in KL. So maybe if you're in other town or city in Malaysia, please type where are you joining from? Or maybe you're not in Malaysia currently, so where are you? All right. Okay. I can see it. I can see the chat is going live. Okay. Indonesia, Kuching, Sarawak, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Penang, KL. Hello in KL. Yes. Cebu, Sarawak. Right. KL. TRX Exchange. Kuching, Sarawak. Okay. Yes. Hello. Yes. So nice to see your messages. Yes. From Kuching, Shala, Malaysia. All right. A lot of people from Kuching, Sarawak, Georgetown, Penang. Awesome. All right. So I guess we can get going. Okay, I can see more messages. Yes, Kuching, Sarawak. Yeah, thank you so much for your replies, guys. So this session is really interactive as much as it can be through the chat. So I will be asking you some questions, and please, at any point of time, please feel free to share your comments, feedback, and of course, questions in the chat. If I can, I will address them during the webinar, or we will get back to them at the end of the session. Or someone is in Bangkok, Thailand. All right, that's nice. So diverse. Well, okay, just a few ground rules and a few words about myself before we get to our topic. My name is Lidia. I'm an executive coach with Naluri. I'm a certified coach with International Coaching Federation. So I work with people mostly on career aspects, career related issues. It could be career progression, career transition, finding purpose, motivation, work-life balance, different complex workplace situations. So anything related to the career and of course to life, because career is inseparable, huge part of our life. I worked before in corporate in different industries, including legal, banking, e-commerce, and pharmaceutical. I'm originally from Russia, from Moscow. I'm Russian. I should have told you, I should have asked you to guess where I'm from. That would be more fun. So yeah, I'm from Russia, I'm from Moscow, but I've been staying for many years in Malaysia. Actually, it's been 8 years now. So a little bit of the housekeeping, ground rules here. Please make sure that everything is working well, that you can hear me. If anything is not working, please message to Naluri Events. You can see here, point number 5. If you have some technical issues, please message our moderator with Naluri Events that they can help you to address this. If anything is not working, you might want to refresh your browser and rejoin the webinar. Well, please, yes, ask your questions, participate in the chat. If you want to write a private message to me, please tag me and then send your question there. If you want to remain anonymous, then there is an option to send private message. Then your name won't be announced. And of course, we will give all the slides, the materials, the PDF files after the session, so you can use all the exercises and tools that I'm going to be sharing with you. Okay, so let's start. Well, What are we going to be talking today? Of course, we're going to be talking a lot about the professional goal setting, career goals. So we will understand what are the specifics of goal setting in our current reality. So we're living in a very different world than it was even 5 years ago. I'm not even saying 10 years ago. So let's see how can we navigate goal setting in the current world. We're going to look into some tools and techniques like Ikigai methodology, how to understand better your purpose, your core values, how all these things help you to align better with your goals and make your goals meaningful. We will compare two goals, sorry, goal setting models, SMART and FAST goal setting techniques. And then we will look into the mindset. How do you go through this journey of achieving goals? Because one thing is to set the goal, and another thing is to go through that journey, because it's actually when your life happens. It takes a lot of time. And of course, we will look into strategic career planning and agile skill development. Well, it looks like it's a lot. It's a lot to cover. Okay, so let me ask you, how have you been feeling recently? With which picture can you resonate the most? Maybe it's the picture number one. You've been feeling excited, motivated, like really want to achieve more things. Or maybe you've been feeling quite tired. I can see a lot of you put 2 here. Tired, yes. Tired, burnt out, sleepy. 3, engaged, busy, doing your work in the team. Things are like going according to the plan. All right. 4, like what's going on? A bit irritated, a bit annoyed, a bit confused, like a bit like not sure. Okay, I can see some combination, 2 and 4. Yep. If you can't resonate with any of these pictures, you can just type how you feel, like certain emotions. How have you been feeling recently? Yeah. All right. 5, 2 and 4, 2 and 4. That's the most popular combination here, 2 and 4. So it means tired, burnt out a bit, sleepy, and also not happy, like upset with something. 3 and 5. Okay, so busy, engaged in work, doing things, right? And then 5, just like, okay, chilled, like leaving office, like what's next today, going for my lunch, very relaxed. Okay, so it's very good and important to connect with how we feel, because we really need to pay attention how we feel. If you feel, for example, very tired, very demotivated, very disengaged, like picture number 2, for a long period of time, then maybe it's like a red flag. Maybe it's something to think about. Maybe something is not working out. Maybe you're overloaded, or you're not prioritizing yourself. You're not prioritizing your me time, your sleep, your rest and relaxation time. Yeah, we all go through ups and downs, but we need to see how we feel on a bigger picture, on a day-to-day basis. Okay, thank you very much for your answers. Well, I'm not surprised that a lot of you feel like number 2, that it means exhausted and, a little bit tired, a little bit like disengaged, not interested, not motivated, because there are a lot of things that's happening in the world right now. I'm sure it feels sometimes overwhelming. It feels like there is so much to catch up on, and the world is changing so fast. The speed is just enormous sometimes. But we are still the same people. We are still the same human beings, and we don't have a computer program in our mind, but we have to run almost like twice fast just to stay on the same place sometimes. And it feels sometimes overwhelming. Of course, we live in this world which is quite volatile, uncertain. Things are changing. The political situation in the world, the economical situation, artificial intelligence. I hear a lot of concerns and fears about the career when I work with coaching clients, and they tell me, I don't know what will happen if my job going to be replaced with artificial intelligence in 2, 3, 5 years time. There is so much pressure. We completely changed how we work with the hybrid work models. We are so digitalized these days. It's not like 15, 20 years ago when you leave your office, you close your laptop, and then that's it. You're gone for the day. No one can reach you. Now you're accessible almost 24/7. So, what is your main challenge in this fast-paced VUCA world? What do you feel is your nerve point? Like, what do you feel is very difficult for you to deal with or catch up with? Let's share for us to see how others are feeling. Maybe it's artificial intelligence. Maybe you feel the speed of this life is too fast. Maybe you feel a bit like the workload is too high. Too many things are happening, like crypto, investments, like what shall I do? What shall I do next? What is your challenge, basically? Let's take a moment here to reflect, and please type your answers in the chat. Technological revolution and social media influence is huge these days. We are bombarded by such a huge amount of information. I'm sure like half of it we don't really even need on a day-to-day basis. Okay, thank you for sharing. What else? Information overflood. Yeah, hybrid work models. Interesting. So for some people, hybrid work models work. Some people feel it's a challenge. Change is inevitable, but bleak future outlook is something I find hard to deal with. Yep, absolutely. Change is inevitable, but how we deal with this change, what we make out of it, VUCA world. Yeah, I always say it's not just volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. It's like volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and anxiety. Because I feel there is so much anxiety in the world right now among people. Societal changes. Yes, the society is changing a lot, ethical norms, different aspects. Economic transformation, social media influence. Yep, economic transformation, societal changes. Yes, it's a lot to intake, and no wonder we feel sometimes overwhelmed. We feel a bit lost and confused, like what's next, what to expect. Combo of all. Yep, absolutely. Well, since so many things are happening in the world, and a lot of these things that we can't control, it's just they are not within our zone of control. What do you think we shall do? How to cope? So we're going to have a little poll here, and please choose which suits you the best. What you think is the best solution for you right now to deal with a fast-paced VUCA world? And I'll just have a sip of water meanwhile. Well, I can see the leader is to adapt. I guess no choice sometimes to adapt. Interesting, a little bit of altering and a little bit of accepting. So alter means change. Some things we can change, or we can change how we see things, our attitude, our mindset. Or sometimes we can change our environment, we can change job, we can change our workplace, we can relocate. There are things still within our control that we can change here and there. So it's not just like everything is happening to us. Something is also the outcome of our own doings. Well, but yeah, one answer, avoid. Yeah, I will say just get a one-way ticket, go to Bora Bora Island, and just that's it. Forget about all the troubles in the world. Well, yeah, the majority, 84% saying is adapt. Yeah, and why adapt? They say it's not the strongest who survive, but the most adaptable to change. How can we benefit from it? What can we make out of it? Right. Thank you so much for your answers. Yep. So what can we still control? So today we're talking about the professional goals, about career aspirations, about the future that we want to project for ourselves. In this volatile world, we still want to focus on some anchors, things that we can influence, we can control to some extent, maybe not 100%. There will be external factors, but at least something that we plan for ourselves. I really like this picture, like this traffic jam and things that are happening, and we're getting really frustrated. But also we can control how we feel, our mindset. What do we want for ourselves? This is very important. Another question to you, I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions today. So if professional goal setting is something within our control, why do we need to set professional goals? Like, why setting professional goals is really important? What do you think? Because we can just go with the flow, just see how things happen to you, what's there in the future, it will be revealed later. So what is the importance? Why we place so much emphasis on setting professional goals? Like, what's the benefit of it? Thank you. Stay relevant in market. Okay. So it means assessing your current relevant skills, how relevant you are with your competencies, what you're doing right now, assessing yourself and assessing the industry. Okay. Give work a purpose. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Because professional goals, we're not setting them just for the sake of having goals, but we want to have something meaningful. We want to be guided by something that makes sense to us. It's our purpose. So we have purpose at work and can drive towards that when we come to work every day. So it means if we have a purpose, we have a motivation, because purpose is something valuable to us. It's when we have passion and we have emotional connection to what we're doing. Motivation. Yeah, it's this goal is something meaningful to me. It makes sense to me. I really want to achieve it. There will be inner motivation. Target to achieve. Self-achievement to make our life more meaningful. I see a lot of words: motivation, meaningful, purpose. It's like the inner state of how we feel. It's the core. Reduce burnout when we understand our big picture. Yeah, because sometimes we have so many things going on. It's important to declutter and understand what is really meaningful and important for you at this point of time. What is the goal and what is other unnecessary things right now that are not contributing to your goal? Awesome. Thank you so much for your contribution, for your inputs. Of course, goal setting is a future-oriented thinking. We think, what do I want for myself in the future? Who I want to be in the next year? Like before, they will ask you, how do you see yourself in 5-10 years time? But now the world became so fast. We look like in 1 year time, in 2 years time, in 6 months even. So when we think about the future, we start to prompt that thinking in ourselves and create better self-understanding. So we become more aware of what we want and how what we want is aligned with what we're doing right now. Is it purposeful? Is my goal has a purpose? So we're aligning it back to the purpose. Our actions will be more focused when we know where we're going. It's like the final point of destination. We know where we're going. Now we are figuring out the journey forward. Then we can take the conscious actions. When we know the destination, okay, what shall I do now? If I want to be in senior executive position in 5 years' time, what is the easiest thing to do now to get closer to my goal? So we can start making this conscious action towards our desired outcome. And with each step, knowing the goal, we can reevaluate whether we are on the right track, whether things are working, or maybe not. One thing is to look at is, of course, to start with this journey with understanding yourself. What do you really like? What do you enjoy doing? How we find our purpose? Who tried this self-reflection exercise, this Ikigai model? Have you ever tried it? Maybe you can share with me whether you tried it or not, or maybe you just seen it, but you're eager to try. It's a very good, like a brainstorming, self-reflection technique, which helps you to understand yourself better and to connect better with your purpose. Seen, not tried. Okay, thank you. Never tried before. Well, it's a Japanese technique and it's very popular these days. You can even see the books in the bookstore about this ikigai. How do you find your purpose? And how do we find our purpose? It's not just by looking outside, but actually is by looking inside. So you will get these materials, of course, and you can do it when you have like an hour of time, allocate some time. So you see here the yellow circle, what you love. So you just list out everything that you love doing in your work right now, for example, or in general in life. For example, I love talking to people. I am a people person. I love communicating. I don't know. I like selling things. Everything. There is no right or wrong. Then you list everything what you're good at, your skills, your competencies, your capabilities, your background. Like, what do you feel you're good at? What other people tell you you're good at? Then, of course, what you can be paid for. So, can you earn money? And with what? And what the world needs, it means, like some of you mentioned, to stay relevant. Is it relevant right now? Is it demanded? Are the skills needed right now? So by brainstorming all these outer layers of these circles, you can find the common patterns among them and some overlapping which you can highlight and then start to bring yourself closer to the passion, mission, like these petals of the flower, vocation, and then getting closer to your purpose. So this is a really good brainstorming to understand yourself better and to take next conscious actions, knowing what you want for yourself. Another thing which I see a lot when working with my coaching clients, with people, is sometimes there is a misalignment between not just between our purpose and what we currently do as a job, but also between our inner values, our core values, and the current job. Because we all have our values. I don't know, when was the last time you list out top 3 or top 5 of your values? Like, do you know your values? Because values are these very, very important anchors, something that is really important right now at this point of time in our life. For example, if you're just starting your professional journey and you're in your early 20s, maybe your values will be fast career growth, financial independence, high workload, and to prove myself to others. Maybe when you are in your mid-30s, you want to focus on your mental well-being and you want a different pace of work. You want to have a hybrid work mode. You want to focus more on work-life harmony. You want to travel more. Then you might want different things in your career. So we sometimes have this inner conflict and we get demotivated at work and lose the passion at what we do if our values are not aligned with what we do. And as I said, the values will change over time. They can be situational and they can be very contextual. But it's important that we have this harmony between how we feel inside, what is important for us, and what we do. For example, if emotional intelligence is a really big thing in your life and you want to work in the environment where people are more empathetic, friendly, the environment is not so stressful, and you are currently under tremendous pressure, the current work culture is really not suitable for you, it's going to be a constant conflict that you're going to experience. And when we know our values, we can set more ecological goals because they're going to be aligned with what we want, with how we feel. Let me ask you, do you know your sorry, not goals, values right now? Do you know your values? Maybe you can type in the chat box like 1, 2, or 3 major values for you in your life and in your career. What is really important for you? Maybe it's innovation and creativity. Maybe it's a work-life harmony. Maybe it's security and safety. Maybe it's the ability to self-express yourself and be authentic self at work. Maybe it's financial independence, and you want to be more motivated. You want to get personal growth right now, like develop in that area. Creativity, pleasure, and leadership. Yep. Thank you so much for sharing. Professional growth, but also work-life balance. Well, values are like these guiding lights in the ocean. When the ship is sailing, we need some guiding lights. We need to know what is guiding us forward. Culture, responsibility, spirituality, creativity, gardening, innovation. It could be something from this list. This is, of course, a generic list. You can go and Google and see like core career values. And then write, if you do your Ikigai, just write next to Ikigai your top 3, top 5 values. It's going to make a tremendous impact next time when you make next career move and set your professional goals. Knowledge, security, self-respect, relationship, cooking, kindness, fun, passion, playfulness. So nice, so many different values. And sometimes we don't even know our values and whether our actions are guided by our values or not, or we go in conflict with them. Happiness, growth, kindness, gratitude, self-compassion. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Well, we talked a little bit about oh my God, I don't know. Yep. So maybe that's the chance to take a few minutes and after our webinar to write down your values, because this is something that's really, really important to you right now. What you value in this life and in your career right now the most. What will guide you forward? When we set our professional goals, we need to understand, what do you want to do more of? What kind of a job gives you energy, fulfills you, motivates you, make you feel good, brings you positive emotions, some things that you really like. And of course, there is something that maybe you would like to reduce in what you do. And of course, it's the year end right now. We're in November. The year end review is coming. It's the great time for self-assessment. Maybe some of you already went through one-on-one conversation with your manager about your next year goals, and you made the self-assessment about your work through the last year. But these questions can also prompt you to self-reflect and to assess, what do you want to change in the next year? What do you want to do less of? What drains you? What kind of a work you don't like? What type of work fulfills you the most? What are your strengths? What can you leverage on? What does an ideal workday look like to you? So there are many questions for self-reflections and self-assessment to look back at the year that just passed and to set the goals for the next year. And it all starts with a self-assessment. Another great tool that can be used for goal setting, to connect the goals with the purpose, with the values, with the long-term plan, and with the emotions, it's the why of your goals. When we talk about the purpose, we always ask ourselves, why am I doing this? Why I am in this company? Why I am in this industry? What is my short-term? What is my long-term plan? And why it means we want to answer this question, because I'm just feel very intellectually stimulated here. I really like this industry. That's my area of interest. This is my goal because I want to be promoted. I want to grow further. So let's say when you set the goal for the next year, for example, it can be any amount of goals, or it can be just one goal. For example, you will say, next year, I would like to acquire leadership skills and I want to get a promotion and something else. Ask yourself a question. Why do you want this goal? Like, what does it give you? Why do you want to be promoted? Why do you want leadership skills? That understanding and that awareness will give you more motivation, because there will be a very solid and clear meaning behind. And then you will say, okay, I want to be promoted. I want to have leadership skills because I want to get into my next role of a manager. I want to have a team. I want to be a leader. Why do you want to be a leader? Because this is something that I've been dreaming of from young. This is my long-term career plan. That's really exciting. That's really motivating. I think I have capabilities for that. And why do you want to do that? What will it give you? It will make me feel fulfilled, alive, motivated, passionate. That's going to fulfill my purpose. So that's how we dig like 5 layers deep to connect with our emotional feeling, how we connect positive emotions with our goals, and how we build this bridge when we will feel motivated because we know why we want this goal. And it's a good reminder, because sometimes we will go through ups and downs when we achieve the goals, to remind ourselves, why am I doing that? What is the meaning behind my goals? Since we are talking also about the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity and anxiety, it's not just about self-assessment when we set goals. It's a lot about auditing and looking at the external picture, what's happening around. It's very important to be agile, to be flexible, to set smart goals, and goals also can be flexible because the landscape, professional landscape, is changing very fast. So it's good to reevaluate. And when we set the next year goal, look at the industry. What is happening right now? What shall I be aware of? What are the current trends? What can I anticipate that's going to happen next year? And maybe I need to develop certain skills for that. Looking at your skill set, see how can you leverage on them. What are the skills that are transferable, for example? So it's about the alignment between your own self-assessment and the industry assessment. What are the areas for growth and improvement in the industry where I am right now? Or maybe I want to move somewhere else. So we're looking at the emerging technologies, market dynamics, and current trends. And of course, no matter whether you're employed right now, or maybe you are thinking of starting your own business in the future, there is a big emphasis on building your own personal brand, no matter what you're doing right now. There is a huge emphasis on being visible, on being out there, to having a good, solid reputation, because that's going to help you. That's going to be like a fundamental pillar for your next professional goals, no matter where you're going, whether you're moving forward in your current workplace or you want to start something on your own, you want to go solo entrepreneur or something else. But building your own professional brand, personal professional brand, is also very important for that, because you are out there, you can use social media, you can build a very confident and solid LinkedIn profile, which is a great opportunity to network, to explore different opportunities for yourself, networking and connections. And another thing that can be used is looking for a mentor to talk, to bounce the ideas, someone from your industry with more years of professional expertise, who can share with you some insights, who can tell you more about their journey, because mentor is usually someone who might be a little bit older than you are, who had more experience in this area. And it's a great opportunity to pick the brains from that person and to understand their experience that you can use. Okay, let's get to the specific goal setting models. I'm sure many of you used SMART goals in your work and maybe for your own goals. So let me ask you, what ER stands for? SMART goals you can see, but what ER stands for? What do you think? Silence. Okay, any guesses? Googling right now what SMART goals are, what ER stands for. Emotional relation. Interesting, let's brainstorm. Exactly. We can come up even with a better version. That's the original one. Energizing. Thank you. Efficiently. Evaluation regularly. Yep. Thank you. Yes. So E stands for evaluation. Evaluate, readjust. Yes. Reassess. Look again at it. Change. Be flexible. Yep. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So R, okay. Regularly or readjust. Very good version, but not the original one, I would say. Any other guesses what R stands for? Rewards. Absolutely. Rewards. We spend so much time working hard, achieving goals. We forget to celebrate. We forget to reward ourselves and to spend good quality time enjoying what we've done, enjoying our achievement. Recognition is very close, yes, because when we reward ourselves, we recognize by ourselves, by others. We let others know what have we achieved. Absolutely, thank you. Evaluate and reevaluate again. Well, SMART goals is quite an old model. It's been here for a while, but anyway, it has a very good track record, and it helps a lot because sometimes the goals are so big, they are so huge, and they seem so vague that we even feel overwhelmed and uncertain how to approach them. And when I work with coaching clients and we set the goals, I, in 99% of the cases, will always go through the SMART goals model because it helps to clear so many things and it brings so much clarity on the next action steps. So the goal shall be really specific. And maybe you don't have a specific goal right now, like you don't know all the details about this goal, but you know some aspects of it. For example, I want to be a lawyer, in-house lawyer in a cyber security and data privacy industry. Well, we still have some specifics here, but we can make it more specific. Like, when would you like to achieve it? That's going to go to the time bound. Like what kind of a lawyer, what kind of a role, what kind of a position? Do you want to be a leader? Do you want to be employed? What kind of a company? So from these general answers, we can start to build so many branches to make our goal really, really transparent. And then we measure it. It's like, how will I know when I got there? Like, I want to get better in public speaking skills. How will I know that I got better? How will I understand that I improved and I achieved my goal? How will I measure this? Maybe rate it on the scale from 0 to 10. Right now, I am 3 in public speaking, but next year, I want to be 8. What does it mean for me when I will be 8? I'm going to be confident. I'm not going to have panic attack before going out on stage, and so on and so forth. So always make it measurable. If it's possible in digits, if it's not possible in digits, but write down the characteristic. How will you know that you got there? Of course, it shall be attainable. You need to understand, what do you need to get this goal? What resources, what support? Can anyone help you? You can do it on your own. So basically, how realistic this goal is. We need to really assess how realistic this goal is. Maybe at least 80, 90% shall be realistic. The rest could be like ambitious, extra. The sky is the limit. Relevant. How this goal is incorporated into my life, into my work. Sometimes we set the goals are here, work is here. We come back to that goals here and there, we do something, we go back to our daily routine. It's about bringing this goal into our daily routine and wrapping our daily routine around this goal. Then we help this goal to grow. And there shall be a time limit. Even if it's not urgent, I would strongly suggest to have some time limit, because then they're going to be a motivation to move forward. Of course, SMART goals, when they were just invented, there were no evaluation. But because the world is changing so fast, we need to evaluate and reevaluate, change and adjust. But at least you have a carcass here. And then reward. Not even the final goal is achieved, but the process goals in between are achieved. Reward yourself for these actions that you did. You moved closer to your goal. So this is about the SMART goals. Another model that I would like to show you briefly is a FAST goals framework. Well, in essence, it's quite similar to SMART goals, but it just have a little bit of different elements here. At the end of the day, there are so many models out there for goal setting, and I would always encourage to try different ones. But as long as you have the framework, as long as your goals are out there and you are, for example, as here, the last point, transparent about them, it means you really understand what you're doing. What is the action step to move closer to your goal? You really understand it very well, not just the goal, but the journey, the milestones to get there. Then you're on a good track. And then specific. So it's again as SMART model. So your goal really need to be very, very specific, because the clearer the goal is, the easier is the journey to move there. You will have a clear and transparent understanding. The FAST goals framework suggests that we make the goals a bit more ambitious. Like in SMART goals, it's all about being realistic. But here you can be ambitious, even if you're thinking, okay, maybe I can stretch it a little bit and even estimate something more. It means that you will still move further in your goal. Maybe you won't reach the desired outcome, but it's going to be stretched further. And of course, frequently discussed, it's like reevaluate, come back to it, readjust, change. We set the goals. The goal is out there. Maybe it's in a 1 year time, maybe it's in 2 years time, or maybe it's in a month time. It doesn't matter. And these goals are called performance goals. So that's the final desired outcome. It's the end result. It's the clear target. But when we just focus on the goal, we just remind ourselves that we are not there yet. But how are we going to achieve this goal? What steps we're going to be doing, and the milestones are the process goals. So these are the steps and actions that we take, and then we reevaluate, and then we reward ourselves, and it encourages ourselves. Every day we're getting closer, because the journey matters. That's where you spend the majority of your time. Then the goal is achieved, and there will be another goal, but enjoy the journey. So the process goals are equally important, because they're going to help you with the motivation to stay on track, to understand what you have done, where are you right now, where are you going. This is just some practical tips on goal setting. Always write down your goals, because when you start to write them down, then you start to do all this SMART modeling, FAST modeling. You start to write down the specifics. Your brain activates the rational thinking, and it's easier then to keep it in your mind or do the Excel chart or something, whatever works for you, because you can also track the progress. Always make sure the goal is stated in positive. It's not like, I don't want to be so stressed next year with work. I want to have better work-life harmony next year. So there shall not be no, not, I am not this, I'm not that. It's always shall be stated in positive. Reflect and learn. Get back to the goals. What is tremendous impact here is when you know your goals, when you know the most meaningful things to you is removing the rest, which is not urgent, not important, and it's not benefiting in any way for you to moving forward to your goal. Sometimes we do a lot of things that are not really needed. So I would strongly encourage to look at your to-do list, see what can you delegate, what can you remove, how can you optimize your time management and task management. And of course, celebrate your achievement, because that just boosts so much of the good positive emotions that generate our actions to move forward. Well, you have set the goals for the next year. What's next? What are your main challenges in achieving the set goals? Let's share. You set the goals, you know your goal, you're quite specific, you're quite clear, you're ambitious, you made your smart goals planning. So what is your main challenge sometimes in achieving the goals that you set? Where do you feel there is a setback? Or maybe you feel absolutely motivated. Okay, UG, lack of discipline and monitoring. Okay, so maybe getting off the track, distractions. Yep, getting distracted. So the goal is here, we are here. Demotivated, sometimes clueless. Being comfortable in your usual routine. Sometimes like, why do I need to get off my comfort zone? Everything is okay. All right, all right. Get new job, frustration when get rejection, feel lost. Yeah, it's important to deal with the rejection. And of course, we can feel not good, not happy about it, which is fine. It's good to feel the whole range of emotions. It's how we overcome this and move forward. And what are we driven by? Okay, procrastinating, demotivating, VUCA world, yes, makes a big impact on us. External forces, yes. Fortunately or unfortunately, not everything is within our control. And even when we set the goal, sometimes life happens, work happens. We have to adjust. We have to be flexible and deal with external factors. Things get in the way. Contemplating, not sure, right, about the goals. Fear of failure. We're going to talk more about this, about the mindset. Yep. So it's very interesting. Yeah, we have the goals, but then how we move towards them, what's happening during the journey, because that's when we work, when we leave, we experience all these emotions, we deal with the setbacks, we deal with the external factors. Thank you guys. You're awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, for this honest sharing. Well, don't just focus on your goals, focus on your behavior. I feel it personally works very well for me and for many people because the goal can be overwhelming. The goal is far away. But what can I do today? Because when we start to think constantly about the future, yeah, we thought about the future, we set the goals, we're clear about them, good. We can adjust, reevaluate. But we are today in the present moment. What can I do today to be more productive, to feel better, to be more efficient? What is the one small thing that I can do today? So we need to focus on our day-to-day work, on our day-to-day life. So focusing on our behavior, looking in our daily, weekly routine. How does it work for us? That's very important because we also want to get the pleasure and enjoyment out of it. It's not just all about the goals, it's about the process. And that's what I wanted to pay your attention to when I said that when you have your goals, we really need to remove the unnecessary. When there can't be too many goals for one period of time. Then they are not the goals, then it's just the list of things with no priorities. What is really has a tremendous impact on us is to be focused and to prioritize. Because Too many goals can make us feel overwhelmed and they won't be a priority anymore. We need to have something very, very specific. And you see the first point here is central. Usually it's one, okay, maybe two. The primary, the key, the most important project, activities, goals that you are pursuing right now. This has like 80% impact on what you do, who you're gonna be. So we really need to look at our day-to-day life, what we do, how can we remove the unnecessary, how can we declutter our to-do list, what's contributing, what's not contributing, and to what extent to our professional goals. So we have this one unit, which is like a driving force forward. And then there could be secondary, but also very important tasks. Top two most important tasks after the main project that you're also currently doing, because we have the energy limits. We also can't do it all, and that's when the quality comes over quantity. And then the last one, you can interplay between four at any given times, also important but not so urgent tasks at this moment. So this is really, really can help you to organize yourself, to improve your task management and your time management, the prioritization techniques. You can use this one, you can use Eisenhower matrix, you can Google it, urgent and not urgent, important quadrant. And if it's really implemented in your day-to-day practice, it's proven to work very well. Of course, there will be ad hoc things. Of course, there will be external factors. But doing this gives the sense of control and power over what you do. And then you can deal with the rest. Well, some of you mentioned when you are on the journey of achieving goals, you can be afraid of the failure, can procrastinate, sometimes feel demotivated, not want to get out of the comfort zone, and so on and so forth. So it's okay to feel up and down here and there, but we want to see in general whether it's a positive dynamic or it's a negative dynamic. So let's look at this circle. I really like this circle because it's a never-ending circle, basically. We can't get out of this circle, but we can manage this circle. What do you say to yourself every day? Are you saying yourself, you're good, you can make it? Yes, you're not perfect, but you're developing. You're going to make it today. I feel confident about my goals. Like, what are you telling yourself? Or maybe you did everything that you wanted to do today, and then maybe one task didn't work out. Then you start blaming yourself, and then you start to become very self-critical, and then you're just being so hard on yourself. So what is this narrative that's happening in your brain? Because how we think going to affect how we feel. For example, let me give you an example. Your next goal is to acquire leadership skills next year. For example, communication skills and being a role model in public speaking skills, because you feel it's really important for your leadership development. So what kind of thoughts can you have? If you're going to be thinking, I am so nervous, I am not good as my other colleagues, they go on stage and they talk to people, they seem so natural, they seem confident, but I am always so scared and so feeling so weird when I'm communicating with other people. I'm afraid to say something because maybe they're going to judge me or they're going to think I'm incompetent. So this is what's happening in your brain. So when we think this way, naturally, we will feel very self-doubtful. We will feel quite sad, sometimes miserable, and then we will project the failure. What's the vision? Our behavior going to be not self-confident. It's going to be filled with self-doubt. Maybe you can share some of the thoughts that you feel are limiting you, like self-limiting beliefs, thinking, I can't do it. I won't be able to achieve this. I'm not good in this area. I feel like a failure. Sometimes I feel like I'm gonna lose it tomorrow. Like, do you have this self-limiting thoughts and how they affect you? Because once in a while, we all have these self-limiting thoughts, self-limiting beliefs. You see, in the middle here, there is a triangle, core belief, what we believe. If we don't believe in ourselves, that's going to be very difficult to move forward, because everything starts with, first of all, self-acceptance and knowing who you are, that you are unique, you're authentic, there is no one like you out there, and building on this. And then being your best friend, talking to yourself in a constructive, realistic, positive tone, and promoting feelings of self-love, positive outlook into the future, being optimistic, and generating different types of behavior, which gonna feed your thoughts at the end. Well, would you like to share, what are you telling yourself? What is your narrative? Do you see this common pattern sometimes we have in our mind? Sometimes we notice them, sometimes we are not even aware. That's what we do during the coaching session. We start to explore your mindset. Jessica, sometimes losing confidence to speak up, feeling like everyone is judging my knowledge. That's when we pay a lot of attention to other people's opinion, and we project already the negative scenario. So it's a negative thinking. Yes, I'm doubtful on my own thinking skills, whether my brain has wake up or not sometime. So it's a self-doubt. What's the benefit of self-doubt? What it's giving you? Is it giving you anything? Is it helping you? We can always challenge what we think. Your thoughts do not identify you, and that drives me down. Yes, so you see the connection here. You think certain things, it drives you down. You feel low. Sometimes I think to myself, you should have gotten it right the first time, or you should be good at this faster. Like a lot of criticizing ourselves, sometimes being a perfectionist, not being compassionate to our own self. Sometimes it's good to reframe and think what your best friend would tell me if I made this mistake. What would like they say to me? What kind of advice would they give me? They will probably say, it's okay. You're doing your best. You can learn. What can you do next time to be better? My toxic trait is if I try something new and immediately not good at it, I won't even try again. So giving up, losing self-confidence very fast, not being consistent. It could be driven by the fear of failure. Sometimes when we have fear, it's the fear of the unknown, what's going to happen, that I won't be able to cope. Having high expectations versus the reality. Yes. How realistic you are. Are you putting too much on yourself? Why are you being so hard on yourself? Is it you? Or maybe you are trying to prove yourself to someone. Ask yourself these questions. That can give you a lot of different interesting answers, because it's heavy to carry this baggage of all these self-limiting beliefs and negative thoughts. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for sharing. I know sometimes it's not easy. It's our innermost feelings, and we don't want to share it, right? So that's when you can come to one-to-one coaching and when we can explore it all together. Well, I think we're moving closer to the end of our webinar. I think we're overrunning a little bit, maybe another 10 minutes here. What can promote our well-being? Yeah, professional goals, career aspiration, performance, productivity, everything this is perfect, but we need to be in the resourceful state of energy of our body. And this is the first and immediate way, how can we show self-love to ourselves? In order to be productive, in order to achieve our goals, we need to really take a good care of ourselves. We need to love ourselves. You see all these things: sleep and rest, self-reflection, spending quality time with friends, with family, having fun, distracting, switching off, having quality time switching off from work. That can boost your productivity, performance, innovative thinking, brain work, self-care, change of environment. Yes, you will be able to get the slides. Thank you very much. Yes, the slides will be handed. Well, okay, we're almost on time. Well, please tell me, what is your key takeaway from our today's session? Maybe something was more interesting to you than the rest. What was the highlight for you? What you feel was the most important to you? What you're going to take away from this session and use it? Just can share in a few words. Purpose of life. This is so, so true. Career, professional goals is a huge part of our life. And we want to be more aligned than more misaligned with the purpose of our life. Because, at the end of the day, when you're like 70 or 80, no one going to say, oh, I wish I spent more days at the work that I didn't like, doing job that was not meaningful to me. We want to find this meaning. Me time, connect with family. Yeah, this is super, 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 super important. The importance of measuring your career goals, because we get measured. We get measured. Yep. Yeah. It's good to know and to track your progress, to have the clarity. Then you can back it up, like with what have you done? What have you achieved? What have you learned? Your progress? How have you grown? It's easier to go for the year-end review if you do this self-reflection, because you can provide an evidence-based case how you progressed, because you had measured your progress. Ikigai. Know your values. Yes. So we can it's so good to have these values, like top 3, top 5 values, and put them somewhere like where you can see that they're going to be a constant reminder. Work-life integration instead of work-life balance. Yeah, I agree with you. Work-life balance is outdated, not existent thing. There is work in life and life in work, how we integrate one into another, that we feel that state of harmony, equilibrium. We are more resourceful than not. Love yourself. Yes, sometimes we are ourselves worst enemy and the worst critics, and that's promote only negative feelings and then quite negative and difficult behavior. Self-evaluation on knowing your purpose is at times we overlook because we change through years, but our wants and what we need. Yes, self-love and respect yourself. Absolutely, you're worth it. Yay. Yes, we need to reevaluate. We change so much even within 1 year. What was important in 2023, this year might be completely different. You want to pay attention to different things. Focus on my behavior to align with my goals. Thank you, Bonnie, for sharing this. Adapt to technology. Well, that's quite a challenge. I think we have no choice here. I hope it's not going to be us and technology in one body soon. I think we can still separate between these two. Okay, how can we use the technology and artificial intelligence to our benefit? Right? How can we leverage on it? How can we be more productive using it? Because it can give a lot of advantages. And there are a lot of upsides about the technology and artificial intelligence. Wow, so many insights, so many key takeaways. And yeah, just to remind you what we've spoken today about, goals are your anchors. This is something within your control. They give you empowerment, resilience, awareness, and focus. It shall be aligned with your values and purpose. So we need to look at your values and purpose. Self-understanding is the key to set the right goals. Connection with yourself, connection with your values and purpose. Building on your current strengths and talents. That's why we need to know ourselves better. Trying different goal-setting models and just figuring out which one works the best for you. Focusing on your behavior rather than constantly focusing on the goal and getting overwhelmed by it. Making your mindset is your best friend, working together rather than allowing the mindset to work against you. And never underestimate the role of self-belief. I can see a question here, how to plan my professional goal and make sure it's something achievable. Well, this is something that you can do using the SMART model, because you need to understand what do you need to do to achieve it. Do you have the resources? Do you have the skills? Do you have the competencies? Do you need someone else to help you, or it's purely within your control? So writing down and making your goal very measurable and specific will help you to understand, because it's the next point after specific and measurable, whether it's achievable. So that's when we need to analyze the goals through the SMART model. All right, please, we still have another 5 minutes time. Type your questions if you have any. Meanwhile, I will just go through some resources and support that you can use. First of all, Naluri is conducting currently Mood Mindfulness Challenge. So when you use your app, you can input how you feel every day. And if you are active there, by the end of November, there will be a lucky draw. So please use this Mood Mindfulness Challenge, because there will be prizes, and it also helps you to track how you're feeling throughout the weeks, throughout the months. What are your ups and downs? Because we go so fast, we don't even know how we felt yesterday. So please scan this QR code to register to take participation in this challenge. I'll just stop here for a few seconds. Right. Okay. And the next one. Thank you for signing up. Of course, we had this webinar today, but you have your unique goals, unique challenges, unique purpose and values. If you want to explore it further, to have professional support, please explore through this QR code, one-to-one Naluri consultations. You can connect with executive coaches, including me. We have other executive, wonderful professional career coaches. And if you would like to explore further, to work on your mindset, on your behavior, this is something that you can do, because you're going to be partnering with a coach. And also you can use Naluri consultations for the mental health support. You can connect with psychologist, with a fitness trainer, with a dietitian, and with a financial advisor. So there is a whole range of services that you can use for your own benefit. And the last one, if you still don't have the app, you can use this code to download the app and start using it and participating, and all these great services that are available for you. As well as you can visit the website. All right, so I don't see any more questions coming. And of course, follow us on social media, Naluri Life on Facebook, Naluri 5 on Instagram, to stay tuned for all the webinars and different events and contests that are happening. So this is something that is just easy to follow. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. All right. That's it for today. Unless there is some last minute questions, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for active participation. And the slides will be shared with you. You can find them in the handout section on the right side, next to the chat, next to the poll. And on the left side of the screen, you can also use this feedback form to provide the feedback for us, which is really, really valuable. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your active participation. Thank you for being here today. It was so nice to connect with all of you. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your sharing. And come back to Naluri app. And I hope I'll see some of you on more webinars and one-to-one consultations. Thank you. Thank you for all your wishes. That's really, really wonderful. I wish everyone a great Thursday. Where we are today. Yeah, it's Thursday. And then the end of the week and the weekend is coming. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye. Have a great day. Thank you.